When you look at Kenny Atkinson's first season as head coach of the Cavs, what have you been most impressed by? I mean, there's a lot to be impressed by. When you look at it, though, what do you like? Man, this guy got that right from the get-go.
His planning, right? And being able to tap in with every single play and push the right buttons with every player. Because not every player can be coached the same. But it feels like since the very beginning, when Kenny Atkinson came and took this job with the Cleveland Cavaliers, he had to take a flight from France back to Cleveland. Then he took a flight to LA. Then he took a flight to Nashville. Then he took a flight to Connecticut to speak with Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley to plan out this season. The plan that everybody's been seeing throughout this entire season. When you talk about how Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley have played less minutes thus far into the season and now are going to ramp up their minutes before the playoffs, that was always in the plan. Getting more rest days. He talked about having a PowerPoint where they understood the amount of or the lack thereof of practice days and how recovery days were going to be more so of that. And then you talk about utilizing the bench role, and this is news as well. Kenny Atkinson says that he plans to start every playoff series with a rotation of at least 10. Obviously, that can change, that can shrink if the players that are the 10th or ninth player on that rotation are not playing to their caliber or not playing to that standard in their certain matchups. But that's the idea, right? Being able to celebrate the depth. And that has allowed the Cavs and the bench unit, especially, to, in this season alone, break so many records, including the most three-pointers by a bench unit in NBA history, which they broke the other night against the New York Knicks.
Also keeps everybody confident and engaged and ready to go whenever needed, matchup dependent.
100%. It feels like the empowerment has been to another level. Everybody that we've talked to has said that they're playing freer, healthier, and obviously there are players that are going to be put in proverbial bubble wrap for the remainder of the season. When you talk about guys like DeAndre Hunter, Dean Wade, Max Strus, and Ty Jerome, to ensure that these guys that one either haven't had playoff experience or are trying to make their moment in the playoffs, to ensure and to show that this Cavs team is not just a regular season team, that they can take it to the next level. That's what Kenny Atkinson's plan has been all along. I remember telling you a couple weeks ago, looking back at Kenny Atkinson's introductory press conference, the transcript of that, there was multiple conversations and discussions about the playoffs then, and he hadn't even gotten to training camp at that point. Sure, he had just got to Cleveland in that point. So I think it's so important how Kenny Atkinson has managed not only the star players, but also the bench units. And he's talked about how that has allowed him, and he's seen that this Cavs team is the most selfless, and he hasn't had anybody on this team come and knock in his office and asking for more minutes, more playing time, more touches. None of that, because they all trust and believe in what he's been able to do and accomplish because of what he laid the groundwork with at the beginning from the very start of touching down in Cleveland.